I mean, where is the end game? When is enough power enough? As Alex talked about, this is yet more consolidation of power for the Federal Reserve. We saw that consolidation of power over a year ago at the G20 when all of a sudden the Federal Reserve, the SEC were under the IMF and World Bank. I mean, how much further can they take this, Bob?
Well, they're going to take it as far as they can because they want a one-world dictatorial government. They want to enslave everybody, and they wanted to do this for 1,000 years. And so they're going to keep on doing it, and that's why if we can go in and take over Congress, so to speak, for the people instead of these vested interests, then we can stop them from doing what they're doing. I mean, flash trading, which is front-running, has always been illegal. And the SEC stands there and allows 17 major firms with black boxes, with algorithms, to beat the public to death in nanosecond trading right in the New York Stock Exchange. It's incredible. Second of all, they allow naked shorting, and it's illegal. But they still do it. And derivatives are a disaster waiting to happen. There shouldn't be any derivatives unless they're on a listed exchange. There shouldn't be the Chi-X exchange, which most of you have never even heard of, which is doing these deep, I forget what they call them. I write about it all the time, but I can't remember. Deep pools, as they're called. Mm-hmm. And they don't report to anybody. I mean, this is incredible. They're trading billions of dollars of shares every day in these dark pools, and nobody knows what they're doing.
Well, I think that's why it's so important that we need to get ourselves into a position where we can take care of ourselves financially if the stock market completely dies, if the dollar is devalued further. On the other side, I want to talk about China revaluation would hurt U.S. world banks, and that is the, I believe, chief economist of the World Bank actually admitting if they revalue China's currency, it's going to hurt us big time. I want to get your take on that, but I also want to implore people to protect themselves, to get into gold and silver and hard currencies that have retained value for thousands of years over at the internationalforecaster.com, or you can call 1-800-686-2237. They've got a few deals. We'll go over those in the next segment, but it is completely incredible to me the way the media spins the passages of these bills. Oh, they're going after the banksters. We're getting hard on Wall Street, when in fact all they're doing is consolidating power into a world dictatorial, banker-run government. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'm Jason Burmis sitting in, Bob Chapman on the line. We'll be back after this.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
We are back live. It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Burmis sitting in. We've got Bob Chapman on the line. And before I get into China revaluation would hurt U.S., World Bank's Lin, that's the chief economist for the World Bank, actually admitting if they revalue China's currency, it is going to hurt us here at home. I want to talk about solutions and how people can really protect themselves from this very faltering economy. Some of the other headlines out there are Dow dips below 10,000 points today. And, its stocks wobble after Dow dips below 10,000. Europe's debt woes raise concerns that global recovery could still be far away. And remember, we were already supposed to have this global recovery, and, oh, the recession is over, but now it's a double-dip recession, and we dare not talk depression. Bob, how can people protect themselves?
Well, I think the most important thing is your job. And most people in the families today that are employed have the wife and the husband working, and you should diligently try your best to keep your job. And in the meantime, you should see to having freeze-dried and dehydrated food, because if you lose your job, at least you can eat. And if there's emergencies, you'll have them on hand. A water filter, if eventually we have the delivery of the water system break down. And you should have something in your home to protect it. Sometimes there are a lot of bad people running around, and I don't have to expand on that. And if you have investments, if you have money left over, then you should be out of the stock market except for gold and silver shares, out of bonds, out of the commodity market, because most people shouldn't be there unless they're professionals, because 95% of the people who go into the foreign exchange market and the commodity market lose money. And you should only have in the bank 3 years supply of operating funds, 3 months supply of operating funds for a business, 6 months. You should have no CDs. You should have no cash value life insurance policies. You should have term policies. And you should not have annuities. They're all invested in the market and in bonds. Interest rates are definitely going to go up sooner or later, so the value of bonds will go down. So it cancels out all of those kinds of investments in this kind of an atmosphere. The only place to go to is gold and silver related assets. And that's really the package, and it's as simple as that. And anybody who has problems with it, all they have to do is email me, and I'll tell them what to do. It doesn't cost them anything.
Absolutely. Why don't you tell people about some of the great deals over at Midas Resources right now?
Well, Midas has been offering off and on a special where if you purchase one French or Swiss franc, is usually the coin. The last price I think I got was $256.62, something like that. Mm-hmm. And if you buy that coin, you get a free 1-year subscription to the International Forecaster, either by email or surface mail. And it's the best deal I've ever heard of. Ted pays for me for the publication, and so this is a real deal. And a lot of people are taking advantage of it, and I think if you don't, I think you're shortchanging yourself. This publication tells you everything that you need to know every week. Well, not quite everything. Alex tells you the rest. But anyway, it's a great offering, and you should take advantage of it. Do you have a phone number there for them?
Yeah, I sure do. It's 1-800-686-2237 or 2237. That's 1-800-686-2237. You guys also have Walking Liberty half dollars at $9.75, and of course the British sovereign gold coins at $332.12. And gold and silver have been doing especially well in the past few weeks, haven't they?
They have, and even though the market's come down, I'm telling my subscribers the correction, I think, is almost over in the gold and silver area, because I'm seeing short covering starting yesterday. I'm seeing more of it today. Like gold's down about $11 right now, and the gold stocks are either even or up a little or down a little. And that's an indication you've got, on a short term and intermediate term, probably a sold-out market. But that market was attacked in the same way the other markets were. I mean, they couldn't have gold going up while they had the market going down, so they bopped it for the last few days. Another thing is the long gold options expire on Tuesday, and the writers of those options are commercials, which are banks. And they don't want them options to expire in the money, and so they're knocking the market down too. So it'll be over by Tuesday.
It's the Alex Jones Show. I am Jason Bermas sitting in. We're sitting with Bob Chapman. Go check out Midas Resources at 1-800-686-2237. We'll be back after this.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.